So all the games finished. Okay, ready boys? Yeah. So everyone, please take a deep breath in and flush out all of the noise, all of the Uno games. Please repeat. We'll repeat the invocation together. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So that's it. I'm just kidding. So, what is the theme of this 1 week's, actually 10 days youth camp? Does anyone know? If you don't know, then what can I do? Nobody knows. What do you think? What is the theme of this camp? Whoa, very good. Give him a round of applause. So as you can see, he's very well studied, so well done. So it's a very simple theme, but there's a lot to talk about, lots of stories. We're going to have some sessions with tomorrow. His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami. Anyone met Mahavishnu Swami? Some people, not that many, eh? And then, who are the two other ones?
Mother Nikunjavasini, Mother Jayabhadra, the Prabhupada disciples, and Samnanda Prabhu.
And you?
And me, I guess.
Yeah. So we have lots of other speakers, so luckily if you get bored of me, don't worry. And today is just a very simple introductory session, a little bit giving some background on who is Srila Prabhupada's, what is Srila Prabhupada in his position. Later we will hear stories about his more personal stories from his personally initiated disciples, but today we're just setting the scene. So it's very simple. So the first thing we're going to talk about is not even to do with Srila Prabhupada. How crazy is that? Huh? That's not easy. If it works. Did it work? No. I need a clicker, bro. Does anyone have one of them? There's no clicker, no? Doesn't matter. So the first thing is that why do we need spiritual knowledge? So as we know, spiritual knowledge is one of the foundational things about gurus, because the spiritual master's primary role, in one sense, is to deliver spiritual knowledge. But regardless of if there are gurus or if there is religion, why do we need spiritual knowledge in general? What is the use of it? Just like if you have the Bible in your hand but you're hungry, can the Bible fill your stomach? What do you think? No, right? No, for Anjali it can, but everyone is unique. And what about you? What do you think? If I give you like a Japamala and you're stranded on a desert island and you want to come back home to where you live in, where do you live? Rotterdam now?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in the Ardennes.
Eh?
Here.
Radhadesh?
Yes.
Okay. So how will you get back all the way to Radhadesh? It's not easy, eh?
Yeah. It gives motivation.
Gives motivation to swim, no?
Yes.
So what about if I give you perfect questions, perfect answers, Vishnu Priya? Do you think If you're stuck in a prison, can you escape the prison with perfect questions, perfect answers?
Sure.
How?
Could be perfect.
Give me a practical plan. What will you do with that book? How will you get out of prison?
I don't have the perfect questions right now.
Whoa, that was a good answer. So apart from her, no one else gave a good enough answer. So spiritual knowledge actually it really doesn't make much of a difference in your practical life. That's my challenge to all of you. So now, we do have more chairs luckily.
Yeah.
So now we're going to, for 5 minutes, I want you to discuss with the person next to you, two, maybe you three, and then two, and then you three. So like, just come to the person next to you, and if there's like three, then three. For 5 minutes, what is the use of learning spiritual knowledge? It doesn't seem to have any benefit in our life, no? Do you do better in your exams if you read a shloka of Bhagavatam every day? It's useless, no? Better to read your history book and get an A in your exams. So you have 5 minutes, you have to discuss, and then we'll ask each of you to give some reflections. The question is, what is the benefit of spiritual knowledge? It doesn't improve your practical life. You can actually pause this. Make people better, right? Isn't it? Do you think if you study biology, does it mean you'll become a nice guy? What do you think? Just if you get an A in biology. Huh? No way, yeah?
He studies biology.
Huh?
He studies biology.
He studies biology. Is he a nice guy? What do you think? Very nice. So Ramani, what do you think? If you get a good degree in IT, does it mean you'll be a very kind parent? Is there a guarantee?
No.
Bro, don't film her. She's got a lot of fans online. Celebrity. So what do you think?
No.
No, why?
Because I think so.
Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, science can make things better, but spiritual knowledge or metaphysical knowledge can make people better and can make our life better. So actually, when we're looking for advancement, we're trying to become, the goal of human life is not to have a better car, but is to make walking or make travel more easy, right? So in other words, we feel more peace, more relaxed, right? What do you think? Is it true? Yeah? It's not like the whole goal of humans is not just like let's build cars, but it's just to make life easier and more peaceful, right? More relaxing. So the humans, they're not looking just to build bigger buildings or to build vehicles. Those are ways to an end or means to an end, and the end is they're looking for peace, they're looking for having a relaxed life, they're looking for a happy life, right? Does anyone disagree? Please, somebody disagree. Yes, what's your counter-argument to this point?
Being a devotee makes you a better person. There are many good people that are not devotees, and devotees might not be just good people.
But did I say devotee or not yet?
It's all like spiritual life.
Spiritual life, okay.
Spirituality and being spiritual makes you a good person, per se.
So we'll establish that shortly, but going back to the question, why?
Having humanity before it can be devotee.
Huh?
Just being a good human being, having humanity, I think it's important.
So we can establish that this is part of philosophy, which is called physics and metaphysics. That's why I very carefully didn't say Hare Krishna devotee. Because spiritual knowledge is much more broad. Spiritual means, what's the difference between material and spiritual? Does it mean devotee and non-devotee, or is it something more basic? Huh? More basic, right? So how would you define spiritual and material? Like, there's no right or wrong answer, just like for you personally.
With the material things that have to do with
There's no wrong answer, don't worry.
spiritual, that that has to do with metaphysics that you can.
But how do you define material? Anjali. She's our philosophy student, no? It's very simple. The very basic answer is in the word, material itself.
Material.
The first part of the word.
Everything that has to do with matter.
Yes. So it's very easy, right? So according to science, matter generally means like you have atoms, you have atomic structures. So you start with like bosons, neutrinos, etc., etc. Those of you who like physics, I think Jayan likes physics. So am I right so far, or did I make a big blunder? You start actually with energy. And then energy has certain structures, which are what I just mentioned. And then in general chemistry at school, then you learn about protons, neutrons, and electrons. And according to the ratio of protons, neutrons, and electrons, then you get chemicals, which you find in the periodic table. What do you call that in French? Oh no, he's not even French. How do you? Tableau périodique. How do you? So we're not going to clap for all of them, unfortunately. So the periodic table, what are some elements in the periodic table?
Zinc.
Helium, zinc, huh?
Beryllium.
Yeah, that one, I don't know what that is, but yeah. I'm not a chemistry student, unfortunately.
Mandarin.
Huh?
Something like that.
Mandarin.
No, like similar.
More simple ones like iron,
Oxygen.
oxygen, hydrogen.
Azote.
Sorry?
She said the same.
Okay, good. So these are all what we call chemical elements, right? So then those, when you join them together, you create molecules, and then you create like bigger and bigger things, and you get biological bodies, etc. So that's what the material world is. So in the Bhagavad Gita, you have philosophical elements. So sometimes they're like, you guys are so dumb. The table with all the periodic elements, there are so many, and you guys say there's only 8. You guys are a bunch of idiots. Some people say. They say the Bhagavad Gita is so dumb, like they don't even know about oxygen, hydrogen. All they say is earth, what else?
Fire.
Let's try and go in order.
Water.
Water. Then someone else? Earth, water, fire. Anyone else? Air? Ether. Mind? Yes. So those are the 8 material elements according to Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya is basically like ontology, which is it's part of physics in one sense. You remember this word, yeah, Anjali, ontology? Mm-hmm. So ontology means the study of fundamental structures, things which you bring to irreducible states. So the Vedic approach is looking at the world in a philosophical sense, not a sense of chemistry in the context of the Bhagavatam, because each of the structures of matter influence us in different ways. But specifically in the material world, or in the modern scientific world, they do not include the subtle 3 elements. Which are the subtle 3 elements? Anybody know? The last 3 that we said. The mind, intelligence, and false ego, yeah. So the 5 gross elements, they are what we study in science, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, or solids, liquids, gaseous substances, radiant energy, and space. So that is matter, and spirit or metaphysics is beyond that. Does that make sense? So it's very simple. Huh? That's what matter is. So spiritual knowledge or metaphysical knowledge means things which are beyond that. So beyond that, so there are 5 ways in which you can experience the 5 elements. Did you know that? There are 5 primary ways. What is one of the ways which you experience, like, I don't know, like if I had a lump of earth in my hand, what is one way you can experience a lump of earth? You can touch it. How else? Smell it. What is eating it?
Tongue.
What is eating it? Tasting it, yeah. Then?
See it.
Smell it and see it, right? So there are 5 ways which you can experience earth. And then the other 4, then they gradually become less and less perceivable. So actually space, you cannot see, smell, taste, touch or hear it, but you can still measure it. So if you have a box which has a vacuum inside, you can still measure the box, but you can't measure anything that's inside of it, right? Or if there is like for instance, if there is air, then you cannot easily see it, right? It's unless there is like smoke or something is very difficult to see. So the more subtle the elements become, the less perceivable they become to your senses, but they are all still material. But now we're talking about spiritual knowledge, right? So we're coming to Vishnu Priya's point. So to make people better, we're talking about the world of morality and ethics, right? So can chemistry make people better? No, right? Huh? No, really. Hard sciences cannot make people better because of a very simple reason, that hard sciences do not include the concept of free will, right? So free will is what creates certain sciences to become soft sciences, or we call them humanities. What's a humanities topic you can study at university?
Indology.
Indology. Anything else?
Psychology.
Eh? Psychology, yeah. So why is psychology a soft science? It's weird, no? Why can't it just be fixed? If you think like this, this will happen to you. Because psychology includes free will, right?
Because you can't see the mind.
Huh? You can still measure in some ways, so it's still measurable, but because of free will, it becomes very difficult to measure, right? But you cannot see the mind. So soft sciences are actually metaphysical because they include the concept of free will, which is a metaphysical reality. It's not a physical reality. You cannot see, smell, taste, touch or hear free will, right? So becoming a better person is part of spiritual knowledge, because spiritual knowledge goes beyond the three subtle elements. Metaphysical can include the subtle elements, which is the mind, intelligence and false ego. But spiritual knowledge means you're seeing yourself outside of those three things. So the person is more than their mind. So therefore, morality, ethics, love, equality, these are all metaphysical or spiritual things. They are not physical things. They are not testable with the modern scientific apparatus. So therefore, what I said was correct, but being a devotee also makes you a better person. But what you're referring to is when someone is an aspiring devotee, but they're not following properly and then they do something wrong, right?
Not really, no.
Huh?
Not fully, no. I think also practicing devotees, or whatever you might say, the practicing devotee still might not be the best person.
Yeah, because they're not following certain things, right?
Maybe.
So if you follow everything perfectly, then you will be, right?
Perfectly, yes.
So actually in Krishna consciousness, we do not say we are devotees. Devotee means a pure devotee, but we use the word pure because devotee means you're devoted, right? The first step in spiritual life is called Shraddha. In Sanskrit is taken to mean, da is to give, like in French, donner. And Shraddha, they say it means the heart. So actually the first step in spiritual life means you hand your heart over to Krishna. But generally our heart is somewhere else, and then sometimes we chant Hare Krishna while thinking about TikTok, right? So therefore we are not actually really devotees, many of us, at least myself, I don't know you guys personally, but you know if your heart is not completely pure, then you're not technically a devotee actually. So the reason, yeah, because you're not devoted. Whatever you're devoted to, that's what you're a devotee of.
So if our heart is not pure, we're not a devotee.
We're not actually a real devotee. We're an aspiring devotee. Or we're practicing to become a devotee.
And how,
So, yeah?
how do you know if you have pure spirit?
If you're free from the 8 enemies of the heart, which is lust, anger, greed, etc., etc. So, but don't worry, just because we're not pure, it doesn't mean that Krishna doesn't like us or anything like that. We have to follow the process which Krishna gives to become a pure devotee. So, as Vishnu Priya said, yeah, someone who has a label that I am a devotee, that's not enough. You have to have the quality of a devotee, right? So if I give you a chocolate bar, and the chocolate bar is salty, and I say, this is a very delicious, sweet chocolate bar, what will you think if I give it to you and then it tastes salty?
No, it's not a chocolate bar.
You'll feel cheated, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, if you're a devotee, but you don't have the qualities of a devotee, then you're not really a devotee, right? If you say, this is the sun, but there's no light, it's just the sun, there's heat, but there's no light. There will never ever come light out of the sun. Will you believe that that's the sun? No, right? Because something is defined by its qualities. That's called dharma, that word. So thank you for pointing that out. So it's a good point. So therefore, why do you need spiritual knowledge? Because you need to understand the deeper aspects of life. The concept, like for instance, does anyone believe love exists in this world? Oh, not so many, eh? Sad, eh? A lot of broken hearts in this room. It's not easy, man. So the nature of this world is people lose faith in love because we're loving people based on the bodily platform, right? So, but actually real love is something deeper, because actually if we're only a physical body, that means everything we do is based on biomechanics. So modern science, they don't believe in free will. They say free will is just, it's like ChatGPT. It becomes so complex, so advanced, that you can't distinguish it from a real person or not. There are many, what do you call them? Like chatbots, which work for airlines, and sometimes people don't even know if it's a real person or not because it's so advanced. So imagine in 100 years, ChatGPT can send you a voice message, you won't know if it's a real person or not. So, but it's a completely programmed machine, right? Does anyone think ChatGPT has a free will and is a real person?
No.
Nobody,
It
yeah?
was created by a real person.
It was created by a real person, right? But it's not a real person itself, right? So in the same way, the modern scientific paradigm, which is called scientism, they believe that free will doesn't exist. It's just very complex layers of biomechanics. But ultimately, if they create a computer complex enough, they can predict everything you can do. Because actually there's no free will. For instance, like, I don't know all of you what you're going to do tomorrow, but I can predict you're all going to eat, right? Can anyone say they're not going to eat tomorrow? I know they'll definitely eat tomorrow. If you want to prove me wrong, then prove me wrong. It will be very fun. Did anyone say they won't go to the bathroom tomorrow? Really? Eh? So now, from now on, if you put your hand up, you have to mean it. I'm just kidding. So there are many, many things which we can predict, which people do, right? I can predict most of you will get married. I can predict all of you will get angry at some point. So there are many things in this world which push us in certain directions, and therefore our free will is very limited, right? But at the same time, we do have some small level of freedom, of independence. I was discussing this with Radhadesh. Unfortunately, he didn't come. I tried calling him. So love actually doesn't really exist unless there's free will. And free will doesn't exist if there's only material things, because it cannot be found in any material structure of matter. So therefore, the only way it can be explained if the self is something spiritual, not material. So therefore, we do need spiritual knowledge, because otherwise we can't really become better people, because the concept of becoming better means that you assume you have free will, right? Can you become better if you're a machine? No, because you can only do what the machine is created to do, right? So unless it's created to become better like ChatGPT, but it's still, you're under some authority, right? So actually free will is a real element which actually allows us to have love, which allows us to have so many wonderful relationships in this world. Does anyone believe in equality? No. So, are you and Ramani equal? What do you think?
Depends on what.
Ooh.
Like in a humble way.
Huh?
Like in a humble
Are you equal at running?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you equal in an IQ test?
No, she's better.
No.
Okay. Are you equally humble, or one of you is more humble than the other?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you equally as good at cooking?
Yeah.
Okay, you're equal. Okay. So, if we do a test, I will see which one is better. Okay. So, in the material world, there are many things which some people are better at this, some people are better at that, right? Some people are taller, some people are shorter. Sorry?
That's my favorite stuff.
Yeah, so in material things, we are not equal, right? There's actually nobody on the material platform who's 100% equal. Even twins are not exactly equal, right? Twins have some differences also. Whether it's personality, whether it's a few millimeters of height, whether it's their hair color, whether it's tattoos they have. So even twins are not equal. So on the material platform, it's impossible to prove that two human beings are equal. It's impossible to prove. So if you say, I believe we're equal, then you're believing that the equality exists on a higher level, right? So if it doesn't exist on the material level, it only exists on the spiritual level, right? Or the metaphysical level. So therefore, that's why we need spiritual knowledge. So does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, then we will get Jayan to explain it more. So here are some nice points about why we need spiritual knowledge. So who wants to read the first one? Or maybe Yamuna can read the first one.
Okay. Even if you don't study
Philosophy.
Everyone has a philosophy. We survive on a
Just the first one, So what does that mean? Can anyone put their hand up? What do you think that means? Sounds kind of weird, no? Sounds like really strange, man. What do you think? Sounds weird, bro. Can anyone say? What? I didn't even know why that's up there. It doesn't make sense. Can anyone explain that? Yeah?
Everyone has beliefs they live by, and that's like their philosophy in a way.
Yeah. So like psychology, right? Everyone has a certain psychology. Psychology means a predictable set of traits which can be studied in a logical manner, right? That's why they have these personality tests with like 4 acronyms. What's that called? Who invented that? I forget the name. And then they have many types of psychological tests. Who's studying psychology? Somebody here? So what's it called? Someone invented this test, no?
You mean Myers-Briggs?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So that's psychology, right? So actually, there's another guy, he's got clinical psychologist from Canada. Do you know who that is? From Toronto, very famous online. Yeah, Jordan Peterson. So there's a very nice quote, and he says that it's funny how people think they're so unique and special, but if you tell me 4 basic things about you, I can already like assess 90% of your psychology. Crazy, yeah? It's true though, right? Like in general, not that he can do it, but in general, psychology helps you to understand people's minds, right? So in the same way, even if you don't study psychology, everyone has a psychology. But if you study it, then you know how to release yourself from so many stresses, anxieties, depressions, and you know how to improve your quality of life, isn't it? So in the same way, even if you don't study philosophy, everyone has a philosophy. But if the philosophy you have is not very logical, is not very healthy, is not very good for your self-interest, then you're actually wasting your human form of life, which is very limited, right? So therefore, it's actually really important to study philosophy, which is also the study of spiritual things, in other words, because you're going to live by philosophy anyway. So therefore, it's very important. Who wants to read the second one? Do you want to read the second one? Yeah.
We survive on a physical truth, but we live metaphysical truths.
So, physical, does that make sense? Who wants to explain that? Janava? What do you think? What does that mean?
I think that Brenda would like to explain this.
You want to explain? No, right? She says no. Sorry. Oh, Jeevani knows. Jeevani, what do you think? Sounds very complicated. That's not easy. So we survive. What's the difference between surviving and living? I mean, this is also if you're good at English, because I know most of you are not from the UK. But basically, survival means like just living, just to have the basics, right? Like eating, sleeping, like avoiding the cold, avoiding disease. That's survival, like animals. But living a real life means you actually have a quality of life. So you have a social life, friends, family, leisure, etc., etc. So actually, people, they survive through physical science, but their actual deeper aspect of life is based on metaphysical truths, which I already explained. Like most people, if you go on the street and you say, what do you think is more important in life, love or money? Nowadays, actually, 50% they say money. But in the olden days, everyone used to say only love, right? Like family, like brothers, sisters, parents, husband, wife, etc. So before, people used to value love over money, right? But if you love someone, just a feeling, it doesn't necessarily get you physical survival mechanisms, right? So money or resources or property or food, etc., physical things, they help you to survive. But we live to do something much more than surviving. We live to have a happy, peaceful, and a good quality of life, right? We live to enjoy, basically, right? And then the next one, what does it say, the next one?
It is in our rational self-interest.
So it's actually the most important thing you can do in your life. Rational means it makes sense, right? Something that makes sense, something that's logical. And self-interest means the thing which is actually good for you, the thing which is actually interesting for you, which can actually improve your life. So generally we learn more about things which temporarily improve our life, but we don't actually learn what is in our ultimate self-interest. But spiritual knowledge, philosophy, metaphysics, they teach us actually how to have a higher quality of life and actually go for our ultimate self-interest. So for instance, if you're on holiday somewhere there are some things which you might be interested to learn, right? Like you go on a tour and you learn some things. You learn how to use the Wi-Fi in the hotel, so many things. But you know, one day my life is my holiday is gonna end, right? So although there are some things which in this world they help us to live, they help us to survive, ultimately everyone knows and everyone believes that they are going to go somewhere else after this particular set of bodies, right? So therefore spiritual knowledge is very important because it's in your ultimate self-interest. Ultimate means the most important thing, the thing which endures the longest, right? For instance, do you play any computer games? What's your name? I forget your name. Our brother here.
Me?
Yeah.
Nimai.
Nimai. So do you play any computer games?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, good. If you said no, I would have been disappointed in you. So which game do you like?
Many.
Just give me one name, like a famous one.
Rocket League.
Rocket League?
Yeah.
What's that? I didn't even know.
It's a game.
It's like a racing game?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So who plays Rocket League? Hopefully more of you play. So a few of you, right? So give us one tip how to improve playing Rocket League. Give us one tip.
Play a lot.
Huh?
Play a lot.
Like some tip, like secret in the game, like okay, if you do this, like,
There's
or with the controller, or is it with like a phone? What's the game with?
No, it's a controller. You have to.
There's no cheat codes?
No.
In the old days, we used to use cheat codes. So if you play Rocket League, there are many techniques, right? Like one technique is like avoid hitting this, avoid doing this.
It's like a game you play football with cars.
That sounds like an interesting game. So just like when you have a computer game, there are many techniques. Like I used to play like Grand Theft Auto, right? So one of the techniques is, you like that game? Oh wait, not all of you are 18 plus. Sorry, I didn't mean that. So it's 18 plus game because a lot of killing and stuff. So when you play that game, I can't even give you a practical tip because it was like 10 years ago. But I'll give you a really like silly one. Like don't run people over because then the police will chase you and then your like game will end. So, or like if you run people over, you have to know like where to escape to. So you lose the police. Don't like run people over at a dead end because it'll be hard to escape, right? So there is some knowledge how to play the game better, right? But what's more important, having tricks about how to play, what's it called, Rocket League? Yeah. So what's more important for you? Like studying for maths and like science and like your English and French and Dutch? I mean Flemish, sorry guys. Or being good at Rocket League. What's ultimately more important? So we might do that one day. Let's see if we get time. I don't know if there's time. So what else? Does everyone else agree with him that playing computer games, knowing knowledge about computer game is more important than finishing your studies?
Okay, I take that back.
Okay.
It's better to finish the study.
Yeah. So that's ultimately more important, right? But what's more important than that ultimately means the ultimate solution to your life. Like getting a big house, you're definitely going to lose your house. The day you buy it, you're guaranteed to lose that house. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
Anything you buy in this world, the second you buy it, you've already paid into losing that thing.
Why?
Because it will either break down or you will break down. Two options. That's the nature of this world. So ultimately, you don't actually own the thing, right? You just earned it for a few seconds and then it disappeared for the rest of eternity out of your hands, right? So you will outlive anything you do in this world. So ultimately, anything which stays in this world is not that important compared to something higher. It's not that it's not important, but it's not as important as spiritual life. So therefore, that's why it's in our rational self-interest. So the next one. Who wants to read it? Volunteer, please, somebody. Unless I can pick someone. Go on.
It disqualifies us from being misers.
Yeah, so what does that mean? That sounds proper weird, man. They're like, they came to a seminar, they're like, all of these points don't make sense. What do you think, Mera bhai? What does it mean? It disqualifies us from being misers. Spiritual knowledge. Yeah, why does it disqualify us from becoming misers? No, I said Mera bhai. No, Mera bhai. Mera bhai is not here. No, I said bhai.
But where is Mira?
Oh, where is she? No one knows.
Oh, bringing much.
So actually the Bhagavatam explains, Srila Prabhupada explains That a miser is defined as somebody who has a great facility, a great resource, but doesn't use it due to being too, what's the word in English? Kanjus. Stingy. Being too, for instance, I'll give you an example, it's hard to explain, but say someone has like $1 million in the bank, and they're like, no, I don't want to spend it, I'm going to keep saving it until one day, then I'll use it at the right time, and then they're like 80 and they still don't want to spend the money, and then they die. Sorry? Yeah, it's not any use, right? So misers for the human form of life means that there's only one thing which the human does which no one else can do in this world. What do you think it is? Is it playing, what's it called?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. So this is philosophy. This is not like computer game science. So it's not about computer game. It's about the principles, right? So the principles of life, there's only one thing which a human can do which an animal cannot do. What do you think? Huh?
Create what you stuff.
No, like ants create skyscrapers more advanced than humans. And birds make beautiful eco-friendly nests. They don't even need like electricity, nothing. So they can create, right? So the principle of creation is common to other animals as well, right? There's one thing which humans do which animals don't do. Huh? Animals also conserve things like squirrels like store acorns.
Learn the spiritual knowledge.
Whoa. So this is the actually only thing in principle. You can say like animals cannot drive a BMW, but the principle of a BMW is that you like improve your transport, right? So a lion can run, and actually lions are more advanced than BMWs, because BMWs you have to work so hard and then they break down, and so many like poor people are enslaved like to get the small bits of metal and to build all of the stuff. So actually a lion running is way better for the world than a BMW running, right? But basically what it means is that the principles behind everything. So the principle which the human runs on, the animals all, they do the same things. The only principle they don't have is that they don't have the ability to inquire into spiritual knowledge. So if a human being doesn't use that facility, then he's actually considered to be, he, she, they, and sie, zer, they're considered to be a miser. So does that sound dogmatic, or is it actually make sense? What do you think? It fits the definition of a miser, right? Somebody who has a great resource or facility but doesn't use it. So thank you very much. And then the last one is, this world is suffering. That sounds proper depressing, no? What do you think? What do you think, Shriji Priya? Why did the Buddha say sarvam dukkam, the whole world is suffering?
Everything is temporary in the end. It's not like when you're born, you're destined to die already. So yeah, and also like you can be happy for some moment, but it will be gone after that. So then it is suffering.
So very good, thank you. So if you want to learn more about that, you can read the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna establishes that very nicely, basically what she said and more things. So, but basically there are 4 principal things which create suffering nobody can avoid. The first one is, does anyone know? Birth. So birth is a lot of suffering for the little baby in the womb, and nobody can avoid that. Did anyone avoid being born? Nobody? Yamuna did, but anyone else?
C-section.
Huh?
C-section.
That's considered birth still. She was still birthed. Like if you leave the building through the different doors, it's always leaving the building. So then birth and then death. So none of us can avoid death, old age and disease. So we cannot avoid these 4 things. And these are guaranteed, but there are many other levels of complexity. So that's why all great philosophical teachers, whether it be my great-great-great-grandfather, David Hume, you heard of him? You heard of him as well, right? I don't know if I'm actually related, but hardly anyone has that surname, so I might be related. He was a very famous atheist philosopher from Scotland, I think, or England. And Buddha taught the same thing, the Greek philosophers taught the same thing, Jains teach the same thing, Hindus, Christians, Jews, and we know that Muslims definitely teach the same thing. So that's the nature of this world. So therefore, that's why we need spiritual knowledge. Okay, the next question for you. You have 2 minutes to discuss with your same best friends. Why do we need a guru or a spiritual guide?
Get to know things better or explain things to you. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think like everything has to be taught to it.
That's true. So,
One minute, please, everybody.
you won't get asked twice.
Okay, 30 seconds. What do you think, Jayan Bhai? Is it okay? So Mirabai didn't come, huh?
I think he's probably dropping much because his car broke down.
What happened to that taxi driver guy from last year that took us like to the river and stuff and that picked me up? Gert? Was it Gert or was that someone else?
He's not here anymore.
Where did he go? Just another city? Spain? Okay, thank you very much. So, we'll ask a couple of you your thoughts. So now we would like to ask His Grace Satyaki Manudash.
I called it. So we thought that scriptures are we can interpret scriptures in various different ways, and so the guru is there to give us a correct interpretation of the scriptures.
Very good, thank you very much. Who is the next victim? I think Bhumika.
Yeah, we came into this world without like any knowledge. So we need somebody who's been here already, who's already experienced life and spiritual life as well, to guide us.
Very good, good answer. And last one, who haven't I picked on yet? Right, go on. Just only in one sentence, like really simple thing. Or it doesn't have to be like a religious sense, just why do you need a spiritual guide in general, like in principle?
To ask them anything you don't get.
So you ask questions to get answers, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's a perfect answer. So actually the nature of this world is that we cannot even think actually without a teacher. It's proven by psychologists. So Sarah will know a lot about this. That even our ability to think depends on the complexity of the language we use. Is it correct or not?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a name for that, but I forgot what the name is.
Can you repeat?
They've named it like in psychology or linguistics. The ability to think hinges upon the complexity of the language which is spoken.
It's in
It's
in ethno-linguistics.
Linguistics. Ethno-linguistics. So actually we cannot think unless we think in language, especially when we're trying to what's it called when you build upon different prepositions? That's called only human, I forget the name, maybe you remember. But only human beings can think in this way also. Like I went to the store to get some bread because my grandmother's hungry, because yesterday I forgot to get bread, because yesterday I stayed out too late playing football and the shop was closed. So you can build up like different statements and remember them all at the same time. Animals cannot do that. But apart from that, it's been proven that like countries, or not countries, but like certain tribes who have like really, really basic languages, generally languages they have tens of thousands of words, but some languages only have like a few thousand words, so they're really simple. So they have found that there's not much advanced knowledge or like advanced concepts or advanced thinking, complex thinking in cultures which don't have,
Bologna.
I thought you said Colombia. Bologna in Italy.
No, Bologna here.
Is that a region here? Yeah?
Towns here, yeah.
So that's which one? Is it Flanders or?
French speaking.
So you're saying French is not advanced, like Flemish?
Yeah.
So actually, but it is true, this principle. It sounds like something like kind of crazy to say it, but it's actually very true. It's been proven that according to the advanced nature of the language, there is a greater and greater ability to think about more complex things. So that's why we preserved Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is the most structurally advanced language in the world. And grammatically, so words don't lose meaning very easily, and the meanings of words in different orders and like inflections and stuff, it stays the same over thousands of years. And there's so much vocabulary that such great topics can be preserved and handed down for thousands of years. Whereas English, has anyone read Shakespeare? Did you understand it easily, or it's not easy? It's only 500 years ago, English already changed so much. So that's why even a guru or a teacher in general is very important. So what to speak of spiritual knowledge? So you already established why spiritual knowledge is important. So the guru is the one who gives you spiritual knowledge to help you to understand it. So sometimes you get people who think they're very clever, no? In this world. Who thinks they're very clever? Anybody? Jayan? Huh?
So true.
Okay, so everyone signed Nimai up. So what to do? So I heard once when Nimai was in school, there was a very good exam. So Nimai thought, I'm going to ace this exam. I'm a very clever guy. So I actually have the exam paper here. Do you want me to read his exam paper at school? Yeah. What he said? Okay, so this, what's your surname?
Sharma.
Oh, it says Nimai Sarma here without H. Is it you? Maybe you misspell it. Maybe you misspell it.
It depends on the grade. If it was higher than a 9, it must have been me.
So let's read the exam. This is his exam paper. I'll read it for you guys, okay? So the first question, which was on his exam paper, they're talking about the last battle of a very great king called Alexander the Great. Anyone heard of him? Yeah. So here's what it says. It says, in which was the last battle that he fought in? So do you know what Nimai put? His last battle. That was the answer. His last battle. And then the next line. It says, where was the Declaration of Independence signed? So do you know what answer he gave? He put on the bottom of the page. So then this, technically they're both right, no? Which battle did Alexander, what was the last battle Alexander the Great fought in? The last one before he died. Makes sense, right? So it's very clever. And then the next one they said, on which day was Albert Einstein born? Do you still remember the answer? Yeah, exactly. He said on the exam, on his birthday. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah, a long time ago. And then they asked a very difficult question. Most of you will not know this answer unless you've been to the US of A. And the question was, in which state does the Mississippi River flow? Does anyone know which state in the US? It's in America, but which state? Huh? No, that's not the answer he gave. You know what answer he gave? The state it flows in is liquid state. That was the answer. So it's technically right, no? It's correct. None of these are wrong so far. And then the last one, this is very popular, especially if you're from Indian origin. So they said, this is a maths question they gave him. So they said, if you have 6 mangoes, but you have 18 people, then how much of each mango, how will you split it between 18 people? So it's a division, like 6 into 18. So the answer he gave was very clever. He says, no problem, just make mango lassi. Very good, huh? Good answer. That's how you split it. It's very easy. If you make mango lassi, you share it equally, you know? So this is why you need a guru, because you may think you know the right answer, but because of not having the right experience in life, you get the wrong answer, right? So most people, they go to a party when they're at school and they think, I'm going to become very happy because everyone who's cool, they're going to this party, they're taking the tablets, they're doing so many things. But then later, they found out it was a wrong answer, they were cheated. So that's the nature of this world. Therefore, you need a spiritual guide, so that way you don't make the same mistakes that people have made for thousands of years and waste your own time. So, does anyone like to make mistakes instead of learning not to make them? Or does everyone like to make them themselves? Who likes to learn and not like make a blunder in their life? Or who likes to like trip and break their knee, like try something and get sick? Or do you like to listen like, this, if you drink this, you'll get sick, and then you don't drink it? Huh? What's that face, bro? So generally in life, human beings, we like to learn from other people so we don't make the same mistakes, right? It's very, very simple. So that's the nature of this world. Therefore, we need a spiritual guide so we don't make mistakes about the deepest questions in life. So it's very, very simple. So now we understand why we need a guru or a spiritual guide. So the next slide, this is very nice. So you can all learn this. If you have a pen and paper, you can write this down and show it off to your friends. Especially your friends who are devotees or Indian. If they're at school, they won't really care. So this is one very nice ancient Vedic text which explains, one of the Upanishads which explains the meaning of Guru. So Guru Shabda means Andhakara Syat. Andhakara means that which makes you blind. Like Andha means blind. Kara means what does, right? Like karma. And Ru Shabdas Tanirodhaka, that which stops or which blocks or prevents. So in other words, Guru means that thing which prevents you from being in darkness or being in ignorance, basically. So that's the actual meaning of Guru. So the role of the Guru is to take you out of ignorance. Has anyone heard the saying, ignorance is bliss? What do you think, Vishnupriya? You heard that before? Ignorance is bliss? Is it true? Yeah. Sometimes, no? Like sometimes you're with friends and you're like, wow, this person is so good, I'm so happy to get to know them. And then someone tells you a bad story about them, and then you're like, I wish I didn't know that. Now I don't want to hang out with them anymore. That just happened to me like a few hours ago. I was sitting with a friend, and then they told me a very horrible story, and I was like, oh. So sometimes ignorance is bliss, no? And then I'm like, that person is not the same now. I didn't know that they did that to you. So that's the nature of this world, right? Sometimes we feel like ignorance is bliss. The less I know, the more I'm happy. Huh?
Will you spill the tea?
No, it's not actually that bad. It's not that bad. No, because actually this will happen to all of us. People will say that about us, and we will say that about everyone. So it's normal in this world. So this is the nature of Guru, that he or she or they or Zizar, they're the ones who actually completely remove ignorance from your eyes. So who knows this mantra? It starts with Om.
Ajnana.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do one word at a time. Om.
Again.
Timiram.
Eh? Okay, very good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Chakshur, yeah.
One word. Even if you split it in half, it doesn't matter. You can do one syllable actually, because you got loads of people. Chakshur. Yeah. Un. Mili. If you don't know, don't worry. You know though. Okay, Shri. Yeah, very simple mantra. So that mantra is literally based on this beautiful verse from the Upanishads. And it's a pranam mantra, a generic pranam mantra for gurus. So Om, everyone knows what Om means, no? Om is like the seed of all mantras, is the sound of creation. And then Timirandasya. So the same word Anda is here, and Timiranda. Timiranda means when it's night time, you cannot see. It's called night blindness, right? So Jnana Anjana, so Jnana means knowledge, and the Anjana means the ointment which you put in your eye. And the Shalaka is like a Q-tip. It's like something you use to apply ointment in the eye. So that's what the Guru does. He gets a special Q-tip, he puts medicine, and he applies it to your eyes, and then you can see again. And what can you see? Even when it's dark, the material world is considered darkness, right? One name for the material world is avidya, like in Ishopanishad, or tamas. So the material world is called the world of darkness, but you can see even in the darkness. That's the power of the Guru. Does it make sense? So very, very simple. So one time they asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the meaning of Guru? It's very confusing. We've never heard of this in the West. Because he was from the UK. So the UK is very famous for being Protestant. Does everyone know what Protestants are? They hate all religious figures because the Catholic Church was very corrupt. So then they said, no more popes. So then Martin Luther taught, only faith and only the holy book, nobody else. That's enough to go back to God. So it's a bit like Ritvic philosophy, if you heard of that. But unfortunately, it didn't really work because Protestantism is the reason Christianity stopped becoming practiced in most of the Western world. Because they took the baby out with the bathwater. When religion loses the personal touch of having a guru or spiritual master, a pure one, not like some dodgy one. There's dodgy ones everywhere in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, everywhere. In ISKCON as well, sometimes, unfortunately. So having an actual genuine guru is very important. Like if you're blind, it's not that I'm not going to put ointment on my eye because some ointments are fake. What do you think? Is that a good philosophy?
Yeah. I mean,
if there's fake medicine, should you reject all medicine? What do you think?
No. I mean, yeah, but not you shouldn't use medicines that aren't good for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, but your proposition is, okay, reject everything because some are not good. Okay, yeah, that's a bad proposition.
Yeah, what's the better solution? What do you think?
Not using the bad ones.
Oh. And then? Looking for the good one, right? So very simple. So he gave the exact answer, correct answer, which is that just because some things are not the genuine one, doesn't mean the genuine one doesn't exist. Just like if you go to India, it's very easy to get cheated. You're like, Prabhu, how much is this silk dhoti? No problem, 1,000 rupees. Does anyone think you can buy a silk dhoti? Well, no, you're girls, most of you. But does anyone think you can buy a silk sari for pure silk for 1,000 rupees or dhoti? It's impossible. So therefore you're getting cheated, right? So it's very simple. All you have to do is do a little bit of preparation and then you won't get cheated. Very simple, no? So therefore Krishna gives the basic philosophy in an easy way that you don't need a guru. But to go deeper in spiritual life, then you require a guru. That's why Srila Prabhupada, when there was translation of the Gita, he says actually most of the translations are correct. So sometimes they're like, why is Jayadvaita Maharaj so naughty that he changed Srila Prabhupada's books? Anyone heard that before? So we won't get into that unfortunately too much today. But it's very silly because Prabhupada didn't even translate the verses in the Gita. He told his editor to use the Mayavadi version and then base it on that. So that's why the wording was very similar. Like the Blessed Lord said, that's in many Mayavadi editions. Because the translation is not that hard. It's the purport and explaining the verses which is hard. So that's why you need a guru. So therefore, once Srila Prabhupada was asked this question, they said that how do we know? There are so many fake gurus, as we mentioned. So how do you know who is the real guru? He says the real guru is one, just like glasses. So many of you have glasses, I can see in the room. So the purpose of the glass is that it helps you to see clearer, but it doesn't change anything. What do you think, Satyaki? If you had rose-colored glasses, what color will things come out?
Pink.
Yeah, exactly, right? So in the same way, if somebody is filtering the message through their mind, through their lust, anger and greed, then the message becomes corrupted. So the goal of the guru is simply to be a transparent. Does anyone know this special word? Transparent via media. Via is like through, like via, which actually comes from Sanskrit. And media, which also comes from Sanskrit. Media is like a medium in which something goes through. Like in Bengali they say madhya, or in Sanskrit. So via media means it goes through the middle of something but it doesn't change anything. So that's the guru. He's just like the glasses, so he helps you to see more clearly but he doesn't change the knowledge. So very, very simple. So anyone seen this before? If you haven't seen it, you can get the opportunity today. So therefore gurus are very important, but then many of them are dodgy, right? Does anyone think there's a lot of dodgy gurus around the world? Who thinks there are more dodgy ones than pure ones in this world? That's difficult, no? Very, very difficult. So luckily, if we just read the basic scriptures, then we will learn that Krishna said that evam parampara praptam, etc., etc. So he created the parampara system. So there are four, in Kali Yuga, there are four paramparas which were created. Brahma, Lakshmi, you see, so who likes FDG? See, FDG is already the beginning of the creation. Female Diksha Guru, you see. So there's the evidence for you, okay? So Lakshmi and then Shiva and then the 4 Kumaras. So you see, it's a very open sampradaya. And then several centuries ago, or more than 1,000 years ago, then different other acharyas came to re-establish the knowledge. So if you want a guru, there is a whole system you have to follow, which is called the Parampara system, and it's called the GPS system. You know what GPS means? GPS system? Guru Parampara system. But that's not that funny. There's another funnier version of what GPS is. One is the gurus. So the gurus means those who are on the planet now, and then the Prabhus who are in the past, and then Shamasundar or scriptures. So GPS, you have to follow GPS to go back to Godhead. Just like I went to Luxembourg with Radhadesh, so we use the GPS. So it's very simple. Yeah. So the mango tree analogy. Does anyone know this? You should all know this analogy. Does anyone want to share this mango tree analogy?
Make lassi.
Huh? Make lassi, yeah. There's another one about gurus and about sampradaya. Anyone heard of it before? Like how the message, yeah?
The parrot eats the fruit and it tastes sweeter.
That's one of them, but I'm looking for another one. But that's correct, that is correct. That the one reason the guru is important is like when a parrot pecks the fruit, then it gets oxidized and then it starts like maturing quicker and becomes more sweet, like a mango or other things. But there's another analogy linked to the parampara system, how the gurus work. It's like a mango tree. Who put their hand up? Satyaki?
No.
Oh. So, I think you all heard this, but you just don't know what I'm referring to. So, like in India, even now when you go, then now in the West they use machines and they use these long poles with like things that cut. But basically some kid will climb up the tree or someone that's very good at climbing, and then they'll pick the fruit and then they'll pass it to someone lower down, and then the person will pass it to someone and they put it in the box. So they do that systematically. Anyone met Vicharu Prabhu? So he used to, oh yeah, you met him, yeah. So when we went to Fiji, he's like 50 years old, he climbs up the coconut tree and then he picks the mangoes. And then he passes it down to her. sorry, the coconuts. He didn't climb the mango tree. The coconut tree is much harder than mango tree because it's like just straight up. So he knows the system, how to use your feet and hands and body, and he climbs up and he gets us the coconuts. And we're like, if you fall, you're dead. But he just does it anyway. And once Mahavishnu Maharaj was chastising him, what are you doing? You're going to fall. Yeah?
Could you put the slide back?
No, the previous one.
Thank you.
So actually that's the way the gurus are supposed to act. They simply gently and carry the fragile message from hand to hand. So that way it doesn't get lost or it doesn't fall on the ground and get broken. So it's very simple. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. Hopefully you don't mind. Now this is the main point of today. That why is Srila Prabhupada special? So now all we want is one between the two of you. So you go back into your groups. Just between the two of you, just one quality why you think Srila Prabhupada is special. That's it. Just in one word. One particular quality that why Srila Prabhupada is special. So we've learned what is spiritual knowledge. We've learned why we need a guru. And now this is the specific guru who started our movement. So why do you think he is special? So only 1 minute this time. This time you don't need to explain it, just for the case of time. So what was the word that you guys thought?
Selfless.
Selfless. Wow, very nice. Yourselves?
Determination.
Determination, very nice. Are you a group of 3, yeah?
Yeah.
So what was the word you thought of?
We had 3.
Okay, that's fine.
He had determination. I had merciful.
And I wanted to say that he created something impossible.
Whoa, that's very nice. Yeah?
Acceptance.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're not that strict. Yeah?
Acceptance and courage.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, she had inspirational, I had influential.
Whoa.
Ambitious and accomplished.
There's lots of alliteration, like the same letters, like I, A. It's really cool, yeah.
She had inspirational and
Inspirational and
motivation.
And perseverance. That's 3 now.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, the same determination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same, yeah? So determination was the most popular quality. So it's a very good exercise just to help us reflect. So now I'm going to give us reasons why. Oh, I forgot to do the animations. Uh-oh. Anyways. You'll get everything in one now.
You can do it now.
I'll just give it to you now, all of them in one. So these are reasons, common reasons why we shouldn't think a guru is special. They're not sufficient enough. So number 1. Satyaki, why do you think number 1 is not sufficient?
Because the guru can smile.
Whoa. So it's very simple, right? Sometimes, I'm not literally just meaning smile, but sometimes people like a guru because of external things, like nice smile, they look good, they have lots of followers, they have a good command of the English language or something, or they're like a big celebrity. So these are all external cosmetic reasons, and they are not the right reason to look for a guru. Does that make sense? So most of the time people don't directly say that's why, but it's kind of like energetically which attracts them to things, yeah?
I have a question for the second point, for being an unreal person without emotion. How is it possible to not have emotions?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But we're done with the first one, yeah? It makes sense? Yeah. Okay, we'll go to the second one now. So we're not looking to find like, I love Srila Prabhupada, and the reason I love him is because he's always just smiling and sitting, and he never tells anyone off, and he never says anything negative to anyone, and he never tells them, you did that wrong, that was bad of you. He's just always nice and peaceful. That's unreal. That's not a human being, or that's not a person. That's just like a fake person, right? So actually a real person has emotions, and emotions are not bad. The problem is that when emotions have us, when we're controlled by emotions, then they're bad. Krishna also displayed emotions. If you read Mahabharata or Ramayana, when Sita was kidnapped, did Lord Ram say, no problem, I'm God, she's also God, we are one. No problem. Did he say that? But is it true? Actually, more texts on Ramayana, they emphasize oneness than dualism or Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Like there's a book which is called, I forget the name now, what's that book? The very famous book in India, Ramcharitmanas, which emphasizes that Ram and Sita and everything is just one, but it's just illusion that we're all separate. So Ram could have just said, actually Ravan thought he stole Sita from me, but I am Sita. Because I am spirit, she is spirit, and there's nothing beyond me and her because there's nothing outside of spirit. So therefore Sita wasn't kidnapped. Did he say that? No, right? Because then there's no love. Without there being two people, who's he going to love?
Himself.
Huh? But then it's not really love. It's just like I'm the best all day. Love means to serve someone, right? So therefore, Prabhupada was not an unreal person without emotion. Sometimes people think, I don't like that guru because he chastised me. He told me that I shouldn't have done that, and he was wrong because I did it because I'm the best. Sometimes you think like that, right? Or sometimes we say, why did Jesus get angry? I was going to become a Christian, but then I read in the Bible that Jesus got angry and he picked up this table. Imagine if I pick up this table and then I throw it at you guys. Will you then say I'm God, or you'll say he's like fake guru? Huh? You won't die from this, but like if I just threw it towards you. But let's stay on number 2. So how would you explain that? Like say you're a very faith-abiding Christian, and they say, why did Jesus get angry and like turn over the tables and tell all the people doing honest business that they're all corrupt? That proves that he's not a real guru. What do you think? How would you defend that?
He wants to prove, like he wants to show us, like this we don't like repeat the same mistake.
Very nice, yeah? So it's like a mother, right? Like, does anyone think that their mother was wrong, that she told us 3 times nicely not to do it, and then the next time she shouted at us, and then we stopped doing it, but she's a bad parent because who thinks that?
She's a bad
Yeah, because she shouted at us because we weren't listening like many times.
Well,
No,
if
right?
he throws a table, I would be like.
Huh? But Jesus didn't throw at women, don't worry. He threw at like corrupt people. So, if you want to know the story, basically in Judaism, they believed in animal sacrifice later on. They actually never started with animal sacrifice, but the pagan, they call it pagan, the Gentiles or whatever they like to say, the local demigod worshippers were doing animal sacrifice. So then after a few hundred years of Judaism, they started doing it too, but they were doing animal sacrifice to Jehovah to clean their karma. So like they do in India, Nepal, etc. So Jesus was angry about that, and he was angry because in the Judaism religion, the only way to clean your karma was to slaughter an animal, and then that gets rid of your karma. Because the Bible says that the way to pay for sin is blood in the Bible. But what it basically means is that because you're sinful, you die, you get a material body, and if you're pure, you get a spiritual body. That's what it should mean. But they took it to mean that you have to sacrifice some living being. So Jesus didn't like it because you had to sacrifice an animal bought in the Jewish temple, which had a big courtyard, and you had to use their local money, not your money, like the Roman Empire's money. So they gave everyone a really bad exchange rate. So say if you want to be a Hare Krishna, you have to buy flowers for Radha Gopinath. That's quite nice, no? And then they say, we have the Radhadesh dollars. So normally a flower bouquet costs how much? €5? I don't know. So, 10, 12. This country's a rip-off, bro. That's not easy. Okay, so let's just say it costs €5, yeah? So €5 in Radhadesh dollars is only half. So if it costs $5 Radhadesh, you have to pay double the money for the same bouquet, which only costs $5 outside. So they were doing that. So Jesus became very angry that you're cheating people financially, so you're making the poor lose money, and then you're saying only in this building can you get God. So therefore he was very angry with them, and he told them to leave, and they wouldn't leave. And then he picked up the tables with the animals and he threw it, and then he chastised everyone.
With the animals?
I don't know the exact details. The Bible is very short. The table where they used to sacrifice the animal, and then he was shouting at everyone and like pushing people around. So was he wrong to defend the animals and defend the poor and get angry about it? What do you think?
To make a statement.
Yeah, to make a statement. He never got angry for himself, but to protect others, he got angry. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada was the same. Sometimes we are not controlled by emotions, but we used emotions in a controlled way to bring a positive change in the world. So therefore, we shouldn't think a guru, sometimes they're like, I don't like that guru because he's too strict and he chastises sometimes. That's not in and of itself. Maybe if he's doing it in a crazy way, then yeah. But if it's just like a normal person, like one of the things very interesting, Hridayananda Maharaj said, when he was translating the Mahabharata for his book, he said, one thing I realized, that actually everyone in the Mahabharata, they're just like you and me. They're normal people. They love their family. They like to go to work. They want to be good people. It's not that it's like Star Trek or something, you know, or The Simpsons. So Krishna, gurus, they're all genuine people. They care about others. They want to defend others. They sometimes get angry like your mom gets angry. Sometimes they get stressed. Sometimes they don't sleep because they're worried about others. So the only difference between the pure devotee and the regular person is that the reason that they have emotions is it helps them to serve Krishna. They never let themselves become controlled by emotions. But actually devotees, pure devotees, they still have emotions, but they're connected to Krishna. Does that make sense? So what's the next one? What do you think? That sounds kind of strange, no? Zen monk 24/7? It's kind of like the above one. So like, especially in America, they think gurus have to be like these Buddhist Zen monks, and like 24/7, like look a certain way, smile a certain way, and like not be like real people. So yeah?
Is it like you don't get anything done if you're just like chilling?
Exactly.
Prabhupada got stuff done.
Yeah. Like they said, why is Prabhupada, who is a monk, so good with money? He's a fake monk. Once they said this story. They said that Tamal Krishna Maharaj said this story. He went to a very rich Indian member's house, life member's house, and the guy was like, my guru is amazing. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, why is your guru amazing? He said, my guru is so renounced that we gave him a big donation, like a lot of notes, and he was counting them like this. 5 rupee, 15 rupee, 20 rupee like this, one by one. And he was like, my guru is so renounced, he doesn't know, you just have to do this, like count the money quickly. So he's saying he's so renounced, he doesn't even know how to count money. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj, you know what he said? He said, my guru is even more renounced than your guru because he can count money quicker than someone in the bank. But he will not misspend one paisa for Maya, for material things. So that is the meaning of a guru. So that's why Zen monk 24/7, not what we're looking for here. So actually, what is more renounced? Like sometimes people like, Satik, would you say you're renounced when it comes to sports cars?
Yes.
Can you buy a sports car? Do you have enough money?
No.
No, right? But what about if someone says, I have 15 million euros in the bank and I want to get a nice car? So it's different, right? Because we usually say, I'm so renounced. I don't need iPhone 15. But we can't even afford iPhone 15. Who has 1,500 euros in their bank right now? Wait, it's not 15, what is it? 17 or 16? 16 Pro Max. Who can afford like 2,000 euros, 16 Pro Max? Nobody in this room probably, yeah? Well, you're working, right? And you're working, no, you're studying. So most of the time we think we're renounced, but it's just because we're not in the position to get it anyway. So it's easy to be renounced when you're never going to get something. Huh? So actually real renunciation is when it's in your hands, but you still don't get attached to it. So that's what this means. And then guru doesn't mean someone who predicts the future. What does that mean?
Like in the Quran, there's like...
in the Quran?
Yeah.
Whoa! I love this. Keep going, keep going.
There's parts in the Quran where it's actually, they predict stuff that is going to happen, and they use that as proof that the Quran is real and the word of God. But I don't know, thought of that. But I don't
It's
know.
different. This we're referring specifically for gurus. Scriptures can predict. Scripture, even Quran, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained that actually the world religions which are existing now, he made a study of all of them. He said they're all bona fide to some extent. So therefore he says we should see all religious people equally. But then he made a qualifier and he explained there's also different types of religion. One he called Sanatan Dharma or Sanatan religion, and then he says Prakrita religion. So because some religions are for people in certain modes. Like you have the Puranas, right? So certain Puranas, they're for people in Tamoguna, in mode of ignorance. Certain Puranas, they're aimed at people in the mode of passion. Certain Puranas are aimed at the people in the mode of goodness. But there is only one Purana which is aimed for Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. You know which Purana that is? It's the Pirana in the Amazon River. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the most pure scripture. That's generally why we don't have so much taste for it, because there's not much sense gratification in there. It's pure bhakti. So most Hindus, they're more interested in Ganesh, Shiva, etc. So they can try to get wealth, education, the best spouse, the best visa, etc. But actually, all scriptures, they're considered authorized, but they have different gradations according to the level they can offer. But gurus, why is it that a guru is not supposed to predict the future? They once asked this. Srila Jayadvaita Maharaj, he asked this to Srila Prabhupada. He said, does a guru know everything? Does he know the future? And Prabhupada says, the guru just knows what Krishna reveals to him. So only God knows the future. The guru knows what Krishna reveals to him. But sometimes people think like, I can do magic tricks, I can predict the future, so many things, therefore I'm a qualified guru. But actually, there's only two types of future. One is material future, which you can predict with astrology. Also, technically, mechanistic science can predict a lot of things we're going to do. But there's one thing which can never be predicted, only God knows, which is what we're going to do spiritually. And whatever we do materially, anyway, is like a dream. Because once we leave the body, it's over. And once you become a great-grandparent, as we're discussing in lunch, we don't exist anymore, right? How many of you know your great-grandparents' names, all four of them? Great-grandparents. All of them, all four of them.
8.
Oh, sorry, 8, sorry. 8. Oh, how many of you know just one great-grandparent's name, full name? How many know just one great-grandparent's name? I think not all of you know even one.
My mom's.
You know, because Suriname families are the best. How many know two great-grandparents' names? I know one. You know two, yeah? Full names, full names. The full birth name.
So your parents.
So imagine, we're so important in this world, we think whatever I do is so important. You literally will be forgotten in 60 years. No one's going to even know your name. How crazy is that? Yeah?
Some people they do like symbols that, for example, like they, like for example you're born like I am, for example, born in 27 then that means that I will be healthy, I will die at this age, I will die because of old age, and they know kind of about because I was born at this day. So that kind of predicting the future.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, there's two things you can predict. One is what you'll do in your material life. So then I gave the example astrology, etc., etc. But even whatever you do in life, in 60 years, no one's going to care much. No one will even know your name. 60, 80 years, right? And then what you'll do in your spiritual life, even the Guru doesn't know, only Krishna knows. So there are some things materially which you can predict, but that's not the qualification of a Guru. He doesn't need to know the future. He doesn't need to know whether you'll get all A's in your exams. He doesn't even need to know exactly where you will live in the future, what you will do, what service you will do. He just needs to know the science of how to make people Krishna consciousness. That's the qualification of a Guru. Does it make sense? What's the next one? This one. So can anyone read?
For having perfect material knowledge of grammar and historical details.
So that's another one. So there are some people, if you go on YouTube, they criticize Srila Prabhupada. You seen that guy? That grammarian guy? Hari Parshad like smashed him like anything. So there's one guy, he's very famous on YouTube, and he's like, Srila Prabhupada was wrong about this grammar. This was incorrect what he said. But these are all minor details. If Srila Prabhupada was born in India, why does his English need to be perfect Queen's English? Does anyone think it affects your ability to be spiritual? No, right? Sorry, Prabhu. Private class.
I didn't realize that. Just looking for the camera.
So then the next one is historical details. So sometimes Srila Prabhupada, they say, he got that specific story wrong, he got this wrong. That's not the role of a Guru either. The role of a Guru is just to give you Krishna consciousness. He doesn't need to be expert in English, French, German, etc. He doesn't need to know all the things of the material world very perfectly. And the last one is for not having... So sometimes we think a Guru, like in ISKCON, they're like, Srila Prabhupada said that white flour and white sugar is very delicious. Because he liked it. In India, everyone likes, right? So therefore we think every prasadam in ISKCON needs to have refined flours and refined sugars. But what did Srila Prabhupada teach about healthy eating in the Gita?
Fruits, veggies.
Yeah, he explains about food in the mode of goodness, right? So food which is in the mode of passion, actually Srila Prabhupada said not to have. But he was also a person, so he also liked certain things. So sometimes we think only certain recipes are Vedic, all other recipes are Maya. Sometimes you hear devotees say that, right? But actually a recipe is historical, right? Just like Indian recipes, they've only existed, the modern ones, for a few hundred years. There was no chili, there was no tomato, there was no avocado, there was no cacao, there was no corn in India before they got invaded, because it came from South America and Central America. So everyone's like, this is a very Vedic preparation. This one Krishna eats, but that one Krishna doesn't eat. So actually, Srila Prabhupada had personal likes and dislikes because he was a person, just like Krishna and Balaram like different things, although in one sense they're both God, right? So the Guru has two levels. He has his personal level, which Prabhupada says, I like chapati more than parathe from Punjab. But he also, when he talks about the absolute truth, then that's absolute. When he talks about what he likes as a person, then that's him as a person. Does it make sense? So these are things which we misunderstand. Has anyone been there? Whoa, no one likes America in this room. Amazing, eh?
No, we would just get kicked out.
Everyone scared of Trump? Or just some? So what is the connection between this and our class? Crazy, eh? Does anyone know the connection between this and Srila Prabhupada? Do you know, yeah? Anyone else know the story? Prabhupada and the Empire State Building, you heard the story? So this is a very good question. So once they said to Srila Prabhupada, they said, hey, you are saying you're a guru, you're a cheater. And Prabhupada said, what? What do you mean? I'm a little bit adding extra masala to keep you awake. Srila Prabhupada says, what do you mean? Why are you attacking me? I didn't do anything wrong. The guy says, no, you're a cheater because you said that gurus know everything and it's impossible that any human being can know everything. Then he says, the guru, he knows the guru is true. The guru knows everything. So then the man says, so if the guru knows everything, then he pointed to the Empire State Building, which was the tallest building in the world at that time. Does anyone know the tallest building now? I think so. Or was there a new one? So anyone been there? It's Dubai, right? Dubai or Abu Dhabi? Or something. Dubai. You've been there, yeah? Very lucky, yeah? So that's the tallest building in the world. If you go to the top, like most of us will get like a bit nervous and shaky because it's so high up. So they said to Srila Prabhupada, they said, if you think the Guru knows everything, then tell me exactly how many windows are there in the Empire State Building. That's difficult, huh? What do you think? What do you think? Did Prabhupada know the answer? No, right? Of course he doesn't know how many windows there are. But he gave the perfect answer because answering questions is not just black and white. Answering question means you're answering the principle behind the question. Sometimes someone asks you a question like, so are you sure you don't want to go? Like, come on, like. And then you're like, I know why you're asking. It's because if you go alone, you'll be scared. So that's why you're asking. So sometimes we say stuff, we ask a question, but there's a deeper meaning behind the question, right? So Srila Prabhupada gave the correct answer to this question. Does anyone know what number Srila Prabhupada gave?
108.
Whoa, how did you know?
Really?
No, joking. So Srila Prabhupada says, the exact number will be given now to you, my dear friend. I can tell you how many windows there are in the Empire State Building. So hopefully you all understand this English, because sometimes this word is like not very common. He says, it's the same number as you have drops in a mirage. Whoa, see, I thought everyone's going to... So mirage is like, you know when you're on the road and it's hot, or like in the desert, and there's like a bend, and then it looks like there's a puddle of water, like a lake or something, but it's just the way the light is like refracting. So it looks like there's water in the desert. What do you call it in Dutch? It's like an illusion. It looks like there's water in the desert, but there's no water there.
Fata Morgana.
No, extra what?
Fata Morgana.
Dat is een achtbaan.
No.
Can you see?
So that's the answer. Does everyone get the story? Oh, it's always like this. When I'm in South America, I say it and then I use the wrong word and they're like, I'm waiting for everyone to be like, whoa, and they're like, and I'm like, you didn't get it? So who didn't get it?
Oh, it doesn't exist, really.
Yeah, the mirage.
No, but you got the English. I'll explain if you don't get the message behind it. But you know what a mirage is now, yeah, everyone? Yeah. So he said, the exact number of windows are on the Empire State Building is the same number of drops of water you have in an illusion, in a mirage. Why? Because the Guru needs to know what is the nature of this world. He doesn't need to know data like that. Because he understands the principle that ultimately the Empire State Building, it looks like it exists, right? Did the Empire State Building exist 200 years ago? Did it exist 300 years ago? 400? So I can keep going back 15 billion years, right? The universe is billions of years old. So who thinks it will exist in more than, let's say, 300 years in the same state? Maybe not, huh? Maybe in 1,000 years? Definitely not, huh? What about in 10,000 years? Will it exist?
But our question...
So things which exist, if they only exist in a blip, say you have a big timeline and it's like a little blip. So it's more unreal than it is real because it spends more time not existing than it spends existing. So according to philosophy, it's an illusion. That's what illusion is, right? An illusion is like something which appears to be real, but it lasts a few seconds. Yeah. Like a cloud in the sky. It looks like it's solid and everything. And then it just disappears.
Right now it isn't.
Yeah, but this we're talking about eternity. So in the huh? So that's why in philosophy, if something's temporary, it's considered to be in one sense illusory because it only exists for less than 0.00001% of time. Like Jayant, do you wear a green hoodie every day? Do you wear this exact hoodie every day? No, right? So if you say the definition of Jayant is he wears a green hoodie every day. Is that a good definition? No, right? Because he doesn't. So although he's wearing green right now, He's actually, for his whole life, he's not going to wear the same hoodie. It's only today, for the example. You might wear it in a few days again. But this is an example, right? So things which are always changing, they actually don't exist in the sense of, in a philosophical sense. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, think about it more. It will make sense later. Okay, so we have only a few minutes, 10 minutes, but we have still how many slides? 2 slides. Now we established more and more. We established what Guru is. Then we established why we should understand what a Guru is. So now these are some reasons why Srila Prabhupada is very special. Who wants to read the first one? Go on, somebody. Try.
Who? Me?
Okay, you try.
Why Srila Prabhupada is special? Love is defined as sacrificing one's personal pleasure for the sake of benefiting others.
So the first reason why Srila Prabhupada is special, you all gave many reasons, but of course we can't go in depth in all of them. But the most important quality is that Srila Prabhupada had love for everyone in this world. Not just ISKCON devotees, not just Hare Krishnas, not just theists, but Prabhupada loved everyone. And the real meaning of love, does everyone agree with that definition of love? Is it okay or is it a bit dead? It's good, yeah? So this is actually the mood which you learn in Srimad Bhagavatam about love. That's why Krishna talks about how the gopis' love is so pure, because this is how they live. So it means that I'm willing to sacrifice some personal pleasure to help to serve others. So who thinks that Srila Prabhupada did that in his life? There are different examples you can give. So keep your hand up and let's see how many more hands will go up. Who thinks that Srila Prabhupada, who can think of a reason he did it actually? Put your hand up. Who can think of a reason that Srila Prabhupada gave up his personal pleasure to help others? Keep your hands up. So most of you can get the story, yeah? So we'll just take 2 because we only have about 5 minutes left. So do you want to share one story? Oh, he went on the Jaladuta, right? Very good story. So what happened on the Jaladuta? 2 heart attacks? 2 heart attacks. What else?
He wasn't well, like his health wasn't good, but he still had his spiritual master told him.
So very, very nice. So actually the lady, she was called Sumati Morarji? Yeah. She was the one who owned this Jaladuta boat. I think it was called Skindia Steamship Company or something. I don't know. So the lady who Prabhupada, it was a friend of his, family friend. So she had this steamship company who go to America. So he was begging her for a long time. She kept saying, no, I'm not going to let an old man like you. You're such a nice guru, such a nice Swami. You're definitely going to die on the journey because it takes like very long. I think it was like 40 days. Anyone know how long it took? Something like that. Took a very long time. Who's been on a boat for 40 days? Who wants to go on a boat for 40 days? Who wants to go on a boat which is a cargo ship? So there's nothing to do. There's only a small room with no window, with a small window like this, and nothing to eat. It's not easy, right? I've been on a cruise ship. That was nice. So Srila Prabhupada went on a cargo ship and he stayed in the staff quarters where there's no window, because staff quarters, they don't live there. They work all day and they just sleep and then they come out. So yeah?
Wait, did Srila Prabhupada did not eat anything for 40 days?
There was not much to eat. He hardly ate anything for 40 days. He could only bring simple vegetarian food on the ship. And most of it doesn't last. So he was like very austerely eating for 40 days. And he was very sick. You get seasickness because there's big waves. Luckily, when he crossed, it was very peaceful because Krishna made it nice for him. But he had 2 heart attacks, so he nearly left his body. And he was very old and it was very cold on the ship. There's very bitter winds and stuff. So that's one. Who else had their hand up? Many of you here? Yeah?
Like when he came to America, I think it took a really long time until someone was interested in what he was saying. And like he was staying in really sketchy places with druggies and new teachers.
Yeah, very nice. So there was actually one of his roommates, he was a drug addict. And he tried to actually physically assault Srila Prabhupada when he was staying. He was staying in the Lower East Side where all the drug addicts and dirty people live. It's a little bit like where Jayan lives in Netherlands. I'm just joking. I don't even know where he lives, don't worry. I've never been to his house, I have no idea where he lives. So, anyone been to like a dodgy area of like Brussels or like Paris? There's many of them. Where's our boy from Paris? He's not here.
I think he bailed.
Yeah, he bails a lot. Yeah? Who said Brussels? You. So what's it like? Is it very risky, yeah?
Yeah, you step out of the plane station, even in the plane station, piss, drugs, all you need.
It's very dangerous, no? So that's the kind of place where Srila Prabhupada lived. So that's the kind of place where Srila Prabhupada lived. So therefore this verse is very pertinent to the story of Srila Prabhupada. That this is the Bhagavatam explains, this is the nature of a devotee. That he uses his prana, his life energy, his wealth. So whatever you have, your money, facilities, your car, your house, and your intelligence, dhiya and vacha, your words, to serve Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada engaged all four of these things in order to help people, and he took no consideration of if he will die on the ship or not, where he's going to live in New York, whether he's going to die in the cold. Who thinks Srila Prabhupada had experienced intense winter of New York before he came to New York the first time? Who thinks in India there's such weather, like in Vrindavan or Allahabad or something? Calcutta. It's very hot, right? So for him, going to New York in the intense winter was like hell. And he didn't even have proper heating in the beginning. So imagine, but he gave up everything. Who thinks Srila Prabhupada could find mishti dohi in the streets of New York? I don't know. So in Bengal, there's a very nice, like, is it yogurt? Yogurt, yeah? Very nice condensed milk yogurt kind of dessert.
Brown yogurt.
Yeah. So who thinks he could find like nice Bengali shukto sabji in New York? No, right? So he was eating in a very austere way. There's hardly much Indian like fruits and vegetable spices, what he's used to. So he basically sacrificed his eating, sacrificed his sleeping, sacrificed his health, just to help people. So this is the last slide. So we can keep going for a long time, but obviously we're only doing an hour and a half. So the reason Srila Prabhupada is very special. This is another point. Because he's giving the highest, the picture didn't load anyway. He's giving the highest gift to the world without discrimination. So Prabhupada exemplified this principle of love, that he wanted to give people the highest gift, and he sacrificed his energy, his health, his money. He used all his money to print books and magazines. He didn't even have health insurance in India, because he gave everything to Krishna. So he gave everything to help others, and without discrimination. So generally we think, okay, if you do in India, it's comfortable. Who's been to ISKCON India? ISKCON in India, anyone been? Most of you? So what's the difference between ISKCON in India and ISKCON in the West? Give me some differences, like positive ones. Don't be like it's more dirty or something.
People come to Mangalarti.
People come to Mangalarti. So if you go to Mangalarti and you're the only one there, if you're not like an extreme introvert, it's kind of boring, right? Like some people want to go to an empty Mangalarti, but generally the more people that are there, you feel more excited, right? Anything else?
They donate more.
Yeah, people give loads of money. So in India, you don't have to worry too much about Lakshmi. All the temples get a lot of donations. Anything else?
More Russians.
More Russians. So Russians, as we know, they're the superior most European race. I'm just kidding. But they're good devotees, so we're happy to have more Russians in India. Yeah, anything else?
Those Ukrainian guys are not.
Oh, very nice rasmalai. So there are many... For Mangalarti, yeah? So there are many benefits. Huh?
The specific one that you get from the Maha from Mangalarti.
So it's the best, yeah? It's nice. Sorry. So anyway, you got 2 minutes left, so I'll just wind up. So Prabhupada, although he was in India where Hinduism, Krishna consciousness, Sanatan Dharma, whatever you want to call it, was very, very big, he should have just stayed there, his life would have been easy. But he didn't discriminate that this is only for Indians, he said this is for everyone. So therefore he came to the West. And he gave something which is actually superior to other world religions. So that's very controversial to say that. We did a seminar on that before. And then even higher than other dharmic and Hindu traditions. But this is not a dogmatic statement. This is a philosophical statement. But we cannot explain that all today. But the basic principle is that Srila Prabhupada gave the highest form of religion, which is the love of God taught by Lord Chaitanya, which is the mood of love of the gopis. But that's another seminar, so we won't get into that. But essentially what it means is that it's the most pure form of love. So there are many ways to love God. Who thinks most Christians love God out of fear? Who thinks most Ganesh Bhaktas, they love Ganeshji because he will get rid of something for them? Like he will get them, he will unblock their visa application for the US or something like that. So who thinks that most Muslim, they worship because if they left the religion, they will get violently abused or socially excluded? So many reasons, right? Who thinks most people are in Krishna consciousness just for the dairy products and the sweets? I'm just kidding. So Prabhupada gave the highest type of religion, which is actually a philosophical statement. If you do comparative religion, comparative theology, and you study the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, nobody has ever gave such a deep, profound understanding of God as Lord Chaitanya has given. So those are reasons Srila Prabhupada is so special. So we'll end on a story, and then you can all go for dinner? I don't know. Go for something. So what is this? Can anyone explain? What do you think? So this is just like a joke. Don't worry, we're not trying to apply for temple president. Does anyone know where I made this? AI. So AI is also good. So once.
Use the river to do that.
Sorry?
You just use the river to do that.
A river?
Yeah.
Robot?
No, like the water from a river.
Oh yeah, I get it. I like the analogy. So this is the last story, and then we'll end it here. There's only 1 minute left. So once Srila Prabhupada was asked, they said to him, once Srila Prabhupada came up to someone, maybe Satyaki can come, we'll end on a drama. Come, aja. So this is our famous actor. Does anyone speak Spanish in the room, apart from Anjali? Okay, don't tell anyone. Entonces lo que voy a hacer es yo voy a ser Prabhupada y yo voy a decir que tú seas el presidente del templo. Y tú dices, no quiero. Y empieza a correr como volverte loco. Y luego digo, ok, si no, te voy a dar la renuncia. Y si dices, no quiero renuncia, yo haría cualquier otro servicio, pero no eso. Y luego te digo otra cosa y tú rindes, ok, yo lo hago, ok?
Ok, claro.
Okay, let's go. So sit down in a chair. So we'll do a drama. Bring the chair here.
Complicated, man.
It's easy. There's only 2 things.
Okay. So, o sea que esto como que me comporto como loco. Y te digo que no. Y luego al final sí.
Exactly. So I will be Srila Prabhupada, and he will be, I don't know who the guy is. We'll call him Nimai. So he's Nimai Chandra Das, Prabhupada's disciple. Nimai Chandra, please, I want you to become the temple president of our Atlanta temple. Can you do it?
Oof, no, I don't think I can do it.
No, please, we need you. There's nobody else who can do this role.
No, but I don't think I can do it. No, it's not for me.
You have to do it. There's no one else who can do this. Please.
No, I can't.
Okay, if you're not going to do it, then please stand up. So this is your danda. Sorry, I don't have a real danda. Sorry about that. So now I want you to take sannyas. Will you take sannyas? Y tú corres, tú vas corriendo. Take sannyas.
No, I can't.
Please take this danda. I want you to take sannyas.
It's too much.
So if you don't do, are you going to do any other service if I don't give you sannyas?
Maybe.
Okay, then I want you to become temple president if you don't want to take sannyas. Take this.
Maybe I can do that.
Yeah, Haribo! Okay, didn't come out that well, sorry about that. So this is a true story. That Srila Prabhupada was very intelligent, so he knew how to get people to do service for Krishna. So there was one devotee he saw was very qualified, but he was shy to become a temple president. So then Srila Prabhupada says, no problem, if you don't want to be temple president, I want you to take sannyas. And then this devotee was so scared of taking sannyas, he said, I'll do anything. Please, Prabhupada, give me any other service. I just don't want to take sannyas. It's too hard. He says, okay, then be temple president. And then, so Srila Prabhupada won like that. So there are many, many stories like that. So we'll hear more and more stories as the time goes on. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So if anyone wants to be a future temple president, you can speak to Shyamananda Prabhu. Actually, there's a lot of Guru Kulis who take up service in ISKCON in these kind of ways. Like in Hong Kong, the temple president is a Guru Kuli. Yeah. And there's few others in Bhakti Center, New York. And there's some Guru Kulis who are GBCs like Manoram Prabhu. So there are many things we can do for Krishna. So thank you very much. And now it's dinner.
That's 30 minutes. Ask if there are questions.
Is there any? But I think time is up, no?
30 minutes is dinner. At 7.
Okay. Is there any questions? Questions, comments, protests, attacks?
Yeah.
You can be devil's advocate if you want. I know time is already quite up, so we'll do one question, then we'll go. Yeah?
I don't have a question. I just was wondering, like, if you could elaborate on the last part.
Which one? This particular slide?
No, not
Oh.
that one. Like,
That one?
yeah, the second one.
That one's a big seminar, bro.
Oh, there's a
We've done it before in Vasto, no? Or no? Or in Sweden, I think we did. So that's like a comparative religion from Bhagavad Gita. So we mentioned it briefly, like there are 3 different modes. So Krishna, he delivers spirituality in a way which people can digest. So he explains that in the Gita. Does anyone know a little bit about that, where that is in the Gita? So there is a certain progression Krishna gives. First he asks Arjuna to do pure devotional service and to surrender everything. Huh?
12?
Yeah, I don't have a Gita. Can you find it? I don't even know where it is. So then he says, if you cannot do that, then at least do karma yoga. So he says, if you can't be a monk and live in a temple and give everything up, then do your job, but then use your money for service. So like, if you have a house, you found it, yeah?
Is that one?
Yes. So the first one basically is actually to become fully surrendered. So you're always just meditating on Krishna, which is what yogis do, basically. And then the second one is like, if you can't do that, then engage your skills in service to me, which is karma yoga. And he says you can follow the rules and regulations. So like, you may not have pure bhakti and you can't meditate on Krishna all day, but if you follow the basic rules, like be vegetarian, the 4 regulative principles, blah, 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 try to wake up early, chant 16 rounds, or whatever you can do at your age, and try to eat only prasadam, all of these things, then even if you can't be a pure devotee and meditate on Krishna all the time, then that's option B and option C. And then he says, if you can't do that, then at least you just give in charity. So if you're like, I don't believe in God, I can't follow this vegetarian, no smoking weed and all of this, then no problem. Just give something in charity to the temple. So many Indians do that, right? So these are the different levels Krishna gives. So it keeps going, it's in the Gita. So then there are different religions for people in different modes, like Shiva worshippers, Durga worshippers. I was in Miami and a lot of yogis, they really like Durga. And I was wondering why you're so into Durga. There's one lady, she's very famous. She even chants Krishna mantras more than Durga mantras. But the reason why is because actually Krishna predicts that in the Gita, that those who are addicted to what is called basically like gross enjoyment, they're attracted to demigods. And according to what enjoyment they're attracted to, there's a certain demigod that attracts them. So if you go to Rishikesh, most people, they're like smoking weed and like living like in a cave and like have matted hair. So which demigod are they naturally going to be attracted to? What do you think? Lord Shiva, right? Because that's his job, to deal with people who are in that particular mode. And then there's only one demigod which you can offer meat to. So some people are pious Hindus, but they love their meat. They love their meat so much. Or their fish. So which demigod is that? There's only one you can offer meat to. Durga. So this lady, I was like, she's been chanting Hare Krishna so long, but she never gets attracted to Krishna. Is there something wrong with Krishna? I was like, what's going on? Maybe Durga is better. But the reason is, then I came to her house one day, and she says, I know you guys, some of you Hare Krishnas judge me, but I can't give up meat, and I don't think I ever will give up meat. But she says, I do like Krishna, but I like Durga more. And then I understood why. Because the energy which she's cultivating, Durga is the demigod which helps you to grow that energy and gradually build it up to Shuddha Bhakti, or like pure devotion. So actually all religions, Krishna gives many paths, some are longer, some are shorter, but they ultimately come to the point of Krishna. So the path which is the easiest and the shortest is Bhakti Yoga. But some people, they want to take the longer path, so what to do? So that's what it means in essence. So thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. What do you think?
We said that without any books, anything, you just are born and you don't know nothing about. And in the spiritual knowledge, it shows that why are you even alive in this world? Why is your purpose of life? And in the spiritual knowledge, it's written there. And for example, as you took the books, if you took the example like we're, for example, lost somewhere, what's that example? That we're lost somewhere, and how do we know where to come back to Radhadesh? Well, it's because the humans invented the whole ways to come back. The cars, it's all material stuff. And spiritual knowledge is just the purpose of life. Why are we doing this?
Very good, good answer. Thank you very much. All right. Maybe Sarah, what did your group discuss? Yeah. You were 3 or 2?
No, he asked her.
Yeah, I mean, really similar basically.
Huh?
Yeah, really similar. That it gives purpose to everything. And even if it doesn't help you to earn money or get good grades, it can help you to be more peaceful, more happy, and that also makes you more successful in material life, but obviously to attain Krishna.
Thank you, very nice. And last one, Giant.
So, yeah, I said, why do we need spiritual knowledge? Because spiritual knowledge is something that stays with you, like eternally. And let's say I'm studying like material studies now about biology, and it's knowledge that I take up now, but when I die, I forget that knowledge. But the spiritual knowledge I take up, it stays with me forever. So that's why we need it. It keeps us. If I reincarnate in my next life, then I still have the value of spiritual knowledge, but not my material studies.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. So all of you had some very nice reflections. There's a nice quote by many of you are a fan of His Holiness Keshav Maharaj. So there's a nice quote. There are many quotes on this topic. One of them he likes to say, which is that science can make things better, right? Like we can improve transport. Actually, Srila Prabhupada himself, on the previous slide you saw, if any of you have not heard of him, he said that what is the advancement of the human being, because all we've done, instead of going on 4 legs, like with the horse or the dog has 4 legs, we have just transformed that into going on 4 wheels. Or once he gave the example that there are ants, and ants actually are very good architects. Has anyone seen an ant hill before? They have, right? So there's not that many big ones in Europe, but if you go to Africa or like hot places, mainly in Africa I've seen huge ones like this big. Then they're like complex cities, but it's just made out of dirt, and they actually live in there and they have a really good life. And there is even like a hierarchy of like the ants and stuff. So Prabhupada said that they build skyscrapers, but the ant hill is just as advanced. So just because we're advancing materially, it doesn't mean actually we're advancing.